Hello and welcome back to the Black Summit.
I'm Hendrix.
And I'm Brooks, and it's good to be back with you guys. We changed the location a little bit here on us. As you can see, just a little black backdrop. This will probably be the only time that we would do this, We just had to switch it up a little bit. But it's good to be back with you guys. We have a lot to get to. A lot has been happening. A lot has happened since we did our last podcast,
Yeah.
A couple of stories that we've missed, like Jonathan Majors and some of that stuff. But, today we're going to be talking about Trump and his indictment.
Your guy.
Not my guy, but, we'll be talking about his indictment, and we'll be going over what's going on with LSU and
the winners.
The winners and the losers,
Yeah.
And we'll also be talking about the CEO of Cash App and Square, him being murdered, really, at night, close to his house, which is kind of crazy. So, we're going to be hitting a couple of those.
All right. So which one you want to dive into first?
I guess we could start with the Trump indictment.
Yeah.
He was booked.
Remember, we spoke about this another time, and I said that I didn't think that he would get arrested or serve any time, and you were saying that you believe he will get
indicted, and he ultimately was. And I just knew that they were going to try to go after him and indict him, which to me, like, the fact that he's being indicted over this case with the porn star Stormy Daniels is kind of crazy that they're actually
going after him
for this. So of all the things that they probably could have gone after him, they went after him about this, which is interesting.
You know what I think, that the fact that they went after him about this with Stormy Daniels, because they try to get him on so many other things and nothing really stick.
Yeah.
Like, the only president, what they claim with 2 impeachments, but he never got impeached. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think if Donald Trump jaywalked, they were going to try to, you know what I'm saying? they just want to get him on something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get anything to stick. But how many counts did they have against him?
There's 34 counts, which to me sounds like a lot. And when you delve into the minutia of all of the things that they're trying to get him about, I think like one of the counts was like, it was like 8 things in one. So it's almost like there's not actually 34 there, but what I've heard from people. But do you think that that's a good decision for them to arrest a former president?
I feel regardless of whoever it is, former president, sitting president, if you create laws and the laws only apply to certain people, then what good are these laws? You know what I mean? So, so that means no one is above the law, right? So everyone suffered the consequences, or the person who broke said law shouldn't suffer the consequences. So I'm just saying, if you got a law in place and if it only applied to some people, what kind of country is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think it's a little bit political with what they're charging him for?
Yeah, I think so. I think it has something, yeah. Because think about it. All these infractions are during his political career. He wasn't on nobody's radar when he was, when he was doing his show. What's the show he had? The reality show.
Oh, the Apprentice.
Apprentice. Yeah, he wasn't on no radar for that. Everything happened in his political career, and look at all his Cohen, Bannon, all his counterparts.
A lot of fall guys.
Everybody got locked up except him. You know what I'm saying?
I will say that's one thing he's got going for him. He's got a lot of fall guys.
And you got to realize too. Like I heard someone say that, and of course I guess I'm not saying Trump is like Capone or anybody. Like Al Capone, who was a Chicago gangster in the Prohibition era. Yeah. But But in the same reference of that, you got to realize too now, alcohol was illegal in the Prohibition era, right? So there was alcohol. Of course, gangster was killing, because and then there was gambling and then prostitution, right? Mm-hmm. So these are the things that they were doing, but they couldn't touch Capone or none of that. Capone got locked up for tax evasion.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So unlike to like Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying? If they, we can't get them on nothing else. So hey, you misappropriated, campaign funds, and now they're saying something about. I'm looking at ABC News, and they're saying the falsifying of business records.
Yeah.
So. And that's what.
Yeah, I think that was one of the counts. One of the counts was that he was falsifying business records, and basically they just reallocated funds, and put it into a different, bank account and all of that, and then lied about it.
So
that's what they're really trying to get him on. So. Yeah,
well,
I think the way that they're treating this case, they are treating it like he's a gangster.
But that's like, pretty much what he is. That's without killing people, or technically, okay, he has a mob. Mm-hmm. There's just followers. What they did? They stormed the Capitol. Mm-hmm. He's pretty much an American. He's Mr. Untouchable. He's pretty much a modern new age gangster, in the sense of, not saying he's racketeering or anything like that, or he isn't, killing anybody, even though some of the people got killed at the Capitol, you know what I'm saying? And, but pretty much it's the same, it's sort of parallel, you know what I'm saying? The conduct is sort of parallel. So, but on ABC, when I'm getting this from ABC News, and they said, like, what does falsifying business records entail? So it says, falsifying business records, a violation of New York state law, constitutes the entry of inaccurate information in a business document to benefit oneself. In other words, a description of the crime is sort of in the name Adam Conta, a senior partner at Manhattan-based law firm Conta, George, and Boozer told ABC News. So, however, the crime of falsifying business records not only requires an incorrect entry on a company form, but also an intent to mislead in an effort to re-up reward. So they're pretty much saying that's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
And of course, so what was his name? Steve Bannon would build the wall, right? When they got he took like something like $200 million or something like that.
He took a lot of money.
And
he took a lot of money.
You know what I'm saying? And got all Trump followers to donate money to build the wall, and they know they wasn't gonna build no wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So but hey, I don't know what you think, man.
I don't know where to stand on this other than I think if he did that, it's good that they got him. You know what I mean? But I do think that a lot of this has been politicized. I feel like he's not the first president who has falsified business records or been accused of doing it. And I do think that if this was like an Obama, nobody would be talking about this. First of all,
you don't think so?
If this was Obama, it would have never even been investigated. But
they would have straight arrested him.
I don't think they would have arrested him.
You don't think, man? Nah,
you don't. I feel like no one is above the law, right? But he has been the most investigated out of anybody you've ever seen. And I think that if you look at any of these, if you really investigate any of these politicians, I'm talking left, right, whatever you're investigating, if you do a deep dive on these people, you will find out that a lot of them are, quote unquote, doing things under the table. I mean, that's why there was a whole TikTok thing where people, we found out that Nancy Pelosi and her husband are making millions of dollars. They're worth like $100 million. How do you do that? And you're a public servant with a set salary.
Lobbyists.
Yeah, exactly.
Lobbyists.
And they were capitalizing whenever a stock would go down or was about to go down, they would pull out. And then when a stock is about to happen, then they put money in.
Insider trading.
It's like, yeah, exactly. And so if you really investigate any of these politicians, any of these business people who have made it big time, you're going to find stuff like this. And I think that I'm not trying to say that they're being unfair to like Trump.
Man, when you're at the top, you eat because you're the first to know.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're not, I don't think that they're, I think if he did this, cool, we got him. But like, if we're gonna start doing this, let's investigate all of them, because they're all corrupt. And so that's the way I feel about it.
They're definitely not gonna do that. I don't think
if you start looking into all these people,
still don't think Trump is. He was indicted. He went back to Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, but I don't think nothing.
And I'm not a Trumper. I know you joke all the time. I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not. And I just think that like we could have spent our $200 or $300 million that they've been spending on this case somewhere else. That's our taxpayer dollars.
That's what they was paying for this?
Yeah. They paid $300 million or something like that.
I didn't know that.
To indict him, to do all of this stuff. And did you see all the police they had out there?
Yeah.
And like
because they were afraid of the
3,500.
They were afraid of his followers was going to show up and vandalize the city, which they even had some support, some followers like locally where we are. Like, but I wasn't in the area. I saw on Post and Courier in Mount Pleasant, they had some people out with signs protesting on behalf of Trump.
Yeah, so. I mean, I think there's a difference between peaceful protesting and violent protesting or a mob, of people. But I think that whenever you have because Trump is such a he's a cultish figure. It's so weird. How these people will do anything for this guy. And they believe every little lie he says, because he does say he spews a lot of lies. And, I'm afraid a little bit about the future in terms of, his following, because they are a cult, what they're capable of doing, but, I do believe that like our money could have been spent better somewhere else. Better. Not going after him, because again, if you investigate any of these people, like, why don't we put that money into investigating? If we're going to do this, well, let's put that money into investigating Biden's son and what he was doing over there with China. But we're not putting as much money into that as we are with Trump, because a lot of these people just, I feel like, hate Trump so much that they want to, like, I'm tired of hearing about Trump. Like, let's end it,
We all are tired, but Trump keeps on popping up in the media,
Yeah, because he sells. He
sells,
man. I mean,
you got to give it to him. He is great at marketing himself.
Yeah,
he is a master at doing that, and I mean, even if some of his businesses he filed bankruptcy a few times on a lot of it, but he gets away with hardly paying no taxes and nothing like that. But but business wise, they consider that smart business.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I know about these things. Yeah, I know about that.
Smart business.
And be honest with you, some people don't want to hear that, but even with paying less taxes.
Oh yeah.
Because when him and Hillary when they was doing their debate, and she was like, how much tax you pay? And she was trying to downplay him, and he was like, no, I call that smart business. Yeah. And it's true. And
exactly.
That's what it is. If you were a business owner, or if you were a business owner, the less taxes you pay, that's what you're going to be for. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
When they're taxing the working class,
But yeah, I mean, I think going forward, hopefully we don't have to hear much about him.
Nah.
And after he loses this election that's coming up, that he just goes away.
I think
I'm tired of hearing about it. So
I'm sorry, I'm ruffling the bag. It's going to be even if he runs, it's going to be a close. I'm not saying he's going to win, Don't be surprised if something happens, and he does. But even if he loses, I guarantee you it's going to be close.
Yeah.
It's going to be close because Biden almost lost.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't think, I think another reason why we still talk about Trump is because I feel like Biden's not doing such a good job. I don't think Trump would be in the news if Biden was just like halfway decent, because I think people are just desperate right now for the way it was, pre-COVID, with the gas prices being so high and like inflation.
Of course,
and,
when you gave all that money to Ukraine, we gonna suffer.
Yeah, all of that stuff. So
we're gonna suffer, or we're gonna feel that,
Yeah, all of those things are a factor in this, realm. So
I'm not saying don't help them. You know what I mean? Everyone needs, some sort of help,
support.
I guess, to some degree. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
for sure.
But still, but yeah, we are the ones who gonna really, feel that financial woe.
Yeah.
Versus, and some people might say, well, we just got a little financial setback, but that's their lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get it. I
Exactly.
do understand. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately we're here.
Yeah.
And we are the ones who feel it in our pocket, and people in America supposed to be the richest country, but we incarcerate more people than any other nation. You know what I'm saying? All these things are privatized. So
that's big business right there.
It's big business, exactly. And that's why they said we are the richest, one of the richest companies. But, you can buy into the prison system on the stock market.
Yeah.
They have IPOs,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, but people here need help as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people need help. I need help. Shoot.
I know, right?
I'm out here in these streets struggling. I got to do this podcast with this corny dude here.
This $100 billion could have been spent on a lot of things here in America. So
I can show you some reparations.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about reparations.
I know you don't want it.
No, I think
give me your portion.
No, listen. I think reparations would be good. I just think that reparations gives people an out. What you don't realize is that would give the people who enslaved black people an out. And
you mean this? In other words, you're saying if they were to pay reparations, they say, hey man, we did our part. It's all good. No, don't bring it up no more.
No more diversity or any other stuff. Like, you got your money, and
that might very well be true. That might be true too.
That gives them an out.
I mean, because I know it was me. So, if I owed you, and once I done, hey man, we good? All right, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I hear what you're saying, but I'm still for reparations. I still can use that funds, pay off my student loans.
Hey, all you gotta do is go to California.
I know, right?
Like they're about to do it. So
you should, you're a native of Cali. You should go get that bread. I can't get it.
I'm gonna go back.
But then it's the thing, though. California didn't have slavery.
I'll put on my Newsom hat.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't have slavery out west. Make sure I get the
reparations. Yeah, they did.
They didn't have slavery out west. That was a South
out west
thing.
Was a refuge for the slaves.
Exactly. I'm surprised how California's stepping up in these southern states as the so-called Bible Belt. They're not.
Well, it's just because that those people, they don't have the culture of slavery or
of course
the ghost of slavery still hanging over them, and so I think California. A lot of people say that they need to change or separate from the rest of the USA because of how different it is.
Well, at one time, honestly, me from being business and with macroeconomics and I don't know how it is now. At one time, they said that California could literally, because of Hollywood and all these things, and now in the tech, California could literally separate themselves from the United States and be a solely independent, not like a country on their own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how it is now, but they've been saying that's how much wealth California actually has.
Yeah, and people don't realize that California's population is bigger. Just the population in California is bigger than Canada's population as a whole.
Really?
Yes.
I know that I didn't know.
And so people don't realize that. I think it's like 33 million or
Well,
something.
I figured like
And so,
well, you know about this better than me, but like
Yeah.
like I hear about areas like Bakersfield. It was his
Bakersfield, yeah.
Like I heard like these areas they aren't that inhabited, like desert
Right, yeah.
areas and stuff like that. So I didn't know the population.
well, I mean, like if you take like the state of South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
where are the population? They're they're in the big cities. you
Right,
know?
right.
Like you go, I don't know.
Charleston, Columbia,
Yeah, exactly.
Greenville,
That's where
Spartanburg.
people are. But in the
Yeah.
middle areas, there's nothing but
Rural
land
land.
and rural and like.
I got you.
So it's the same kind of concept, where it's
Hey,
like
but
San
it's-
Francisco has a ton of people.
but it's still bigger than
Sacramento.
South Carolina, though.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
Sacramento. I think. I think
Sacramento, Tacoma. No, that's Washington.
Los Angeles, San Diego.
Angeles, San
You
Diego.
got all these different cities.
Yeah.
San
Long
Jose,
Beach.
Long Beach.
Englewood.
I consider Long Beach like a part of LA.
Really?
Yeah. Long Beach, Inglewood, all those places to me is like a part
like
of LA.
because it's right there, like on the outskirts.
Well, I mean, it's
Just like so close.
It's just LA.
So LA.
Yeah,
I got you.
It's right there. Yeah, so I mean, I remember going to Long Beach all the time. So, but yeah,
I hear you, man.
it's interesting. All right.
Very.
So the CEO of
Cash App.
Cash App and Square.
What was his name? Bob Lee? Is that his name?
You got the story? But yeah, he was murdered. He was stabbed to
Bob
death
Lee.
in a very gruesome way, man. Just like in the street. I think he was walking home or something.
But why? Was it random? I mean, like, or was he targeted?
I know some people got some conspiracies out there.
Yeah, I heard about some conspiracy.
But I think it's just the problem with California. I think California being so lenient on crime, which I think it comes from a good place. They want to be able to help out people who are in worse circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these laws are really just helping out the abusers, the people who are out here killing people and stealing stuff, because now they're taking advantage of those new laws that they passed. The law of like, you don't have to pay any bond, and so you can literally be arrested and get out like the next day. Like stuff like that has contributed to the crime problem that's happening in San Francisco, and all of these other cities in California. And I think this is a sign right there that it's getting really, really bad, and somebody has to step up and do something about it. And I mean, the fact that this guy, who technically probably like worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, he created Cash App and Square, and like he's rubbing elbows with people like Elon Musk. I mean, he might have been worth billions of dollars. But the fact that he could get killed on his walk home should tell us, and should be a little bit of alarming about our crime system here in America. So, but anyways, what do you think of it?
I mean, they're not saying anything about, why. They say the investigation is still in early stages. This is ABC News because of this. And they said they're not commenting on evidence nor will speculate on the circumstances surrounding this horrific crime. So, I mean, I just want to know, why, or what, just a random crime. I mean, think about it.
Yeah,
you stab, but see, no, this is what I'm saying. This is what I don't know. I don't know far as if it's conspiracy or whatever the case may be. I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But, okay, normally, either it was one or two things, right? Mm-hmm. Either you kill this person, which you shouldn't kill anybody, but you harm this person because they have wronged you, right? And you feel you want to take vengeance in your own hand, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is, or you harm this person because you were trying to rob them. Mm-hmm. Now, he's walking. I'm sure he may have some cash, but I didn't hear anything about a robbery. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And who robs somebody with a knife? Normally, you rob them with a gun. Not saying you can't rob somebody with a knife, but most of the time of robberies I hear is normally with a gun. Because with a knife, someone can get the upper hand on you, and I've seen people even get the upper hand on people with a gun, at gunpoint, able to tackle their assailant down and able to wrestle the gun away from them. So you normally rob people with a gun, not a knife, right? So I don't know, man. I'm just saying it just. I can see it's still suspect to me.
Well, here's the thing.
It seems sus.
I think that here's the problem with conspiracy theories. I believe that, whenever it's somebody famous, there's always a conspiracy.
Because there's one with Nipsey too.
If this dude was a regular dude,
oh, of course, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nobody would be talking. Nobody would be looking up about.
It wouldn't even be in the news.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody would be looking
local news, but not national news.
This happened the same day that the government is bringing out blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are now trying to say that, and to me,
was it Fed now?
If he was a regular person, nobody would be talking about it.
This is true too.
So I think I think it's just a crime problem. Personally,
just a crime,
but.
I hear what you're saying. But at the same time, I'm not saying, because I'm not a big conspiracy theorist person. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's like, I leave that for QAnon, and you know what I'm saying, and the so-called, what they say, oh, you're Antifa. All that stuff is based on conspiracy, right? So I just look at, like me, I'm a facts person. I'm very logic. I'm not an overly emotional person, because a lot of emotions that get you in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, the person who stabbed him was operating off emotion. If he felt the man did something to him, so he let his emotion, his anger, get the best of him, and then he stabbed the guy and he killed him, right? Versus being logical and thinking, okay, yeah, he did something to me. Versus me, you know what? I'll just attack him. I'm gonna just beat him up real bad. He's still alive, and I'm gonna go about my business. Or if I'm gonna rob him, I'm gonna just rob him, take his goods, and he's still alive. So I'm a logical person. I try not to lead with too much emotion. I have emotion, but I try to lead. Mm-hmm. But for me, going forward, making sense of this, it's just too many. It's too many things to look at. It's too many red flags, too many loopholes, and then they're not commenting on it. And I get it. The investigation is still going on. And this happened, Tuesday? It's supposed to happen Tuesday, right? And what is day? It's Friday, right? So I haven't heard anything about them saying that they caught the guy, they brought him in for questioning or what have you. Now if they said, hey, he stabbed him, he tried to rob him or something like that, or even if they got into a fight earlier, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or Bob Lee had disrespected we don't even know if it was a man or a woman. You know what I'm saying? Right. So even if he had disrespected, say, the guy's girlfriend or wife or something like that, and he got mad and retaliated, something like that. I'm not saying it's right, but that I can understand. Or a female, he did her wrong, and, she was scorned and she got upset and she just, you know what I'm saying? But they're not saying anything, so we don't know. So I'm just curious to see what the story's going to unfold or what they're going to say about this situation. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Everything is hearsay.
Don't get me wrong. I think I like conspiracy theories and stuff like that. But I mean, I do think it is a little bit suspicious, his death and all of that. But I think it gets back to the crime problem that we've been having everywhere, really. I mean, people are still going out and doing, school stuff. And,
yeah.
And stuff. It's like this in New York, too, with the stabbings and the killings and the...
No, I know there's crime everywhere. I've never been to California. I would love to visit. I know that's where you're from.
As a whole,
and you've been, but in San Francisco.
Yes.
Because if anything, usually if I hear about a crime, California, it's usually it's always to be LA.
Right.
But I've never heard anything.
You got to listen.
About
you got to pay attention to the news,
man.
San Francisco, people are robbing stores. People are robbing CVS's. CVS had to close down a bunch of places in San Francisco because they were getting robbed every single day and getting robbed badly.
You know what I hear about San Francisco? Of course, the cost of living is astronomical. It's expensive as hell.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Then the tech giants are there. Like what they tell me about San Francisco. Like you can be in a coffee shop, right? It can be like a nerdy looking dude like me with glasses. You know what I'm saying? And this guy, you can be sitting there. He dressed regular like me, regular. This guy can be worth like 2-3 mil from doing some apps. You know, and you get out and I hop on my little bike. And you hop in a DeLorean, you know, not you know what I'm saying, or something like that.
Silicon Valley, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those are the things I hear. Plus, I'm a big 49ers fan. Just put that out there. I'm a San Francisco. Yeah. But these are the things I hear about San Francisco. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't any crime because I know that's near the Bay Area, right? But I don't hear about crime like that in
I will
San
say
Francisco.
they don't talk as much because they don't want to talk about, you know, that city
so
as a whole.
They don't want to publicize their dirt, huh?
Yeah, that city as a whole has been going downward in terms of crime, you know, for a while. Remember, Nancy Pelosi's husband.
Oh, that was San Francisco. Yeah, they broke in.
Had something happen to him, too.
And they broke in and beat him with a hammer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
that was San Francisco.
Listen, man, it's not good there right now. It's not good there.
Man, and were those people like... I think, man, you know what I think?
It was one dude that did that to him.
And this is my take. I heard about that. I think that, and I could be wrong. This is me. I'm going to be like Skip Bayless. I'm going to go on my little theory.
Okay.
I think when that happened, I don't think those people were from San Francisco. I think they came there to attack them. Now, had they been living in, hold on, just hear me.
They found him.
Had they been living in Alabama or Mississippi, then I said, oh yeah, definitely. You know, these are somebody who had to been affiliated with January 6th, even though they were there. Was just random?
No, it was a dude that they knew. He had been to some protests, I think, with them, and like he was actually a supporter of theirs. And
so why did he attack them?
I don't know. You know.
Oh, then cancel my whole theory. I thought it was a Trump supporter.
That's why I was trying to help you out. You were like, wait a minute.
yeah, because I knew you was about to be combative. I thought it was a Trump supporter, but no. So it was.
It was somebody that they knew.
So you think it was someone just mental?
Somebody who had
mental issues.
But you know,
that's a big thing.
But also just the crime there, man. I mean, it's been bad. What I've been hearing. If CVS is closing down stores, if people like this Silicon Valley dude is getting murdered, that should tell you right there that there's something else going on, and people are acting like, oh yeah, it's okay to just, you know. Let me not say that. But anyways.
When was the last time you visited San Francisco?
I haven't been to San Francisco since I was a baby. I was probably like maybe like 9 or 10.
Then I mean you don't know nothing. Nah, just playing.
Listen, I got connections up there. We know people up there. Well, in that area, I don't know if they're exactly in San Francisco, but they might be like in Golden State or San Jose. Some of those places up there.
Golden State.
Yeah. So, you know, it's close to San Francisco. You know,
would you visit?
Visit where?
San Francisco.
Not right now.
No,
they better get that crime put together.
Is it worse than Oakland?
I'm not a.
That's the Bay Area too. Is it worse than Oakland?
I don't think so. But I mean, like right now, I'm not. I mean, there's nothing that makes me like want to go to San Francisco.
You know, I remember back in the day, of course, this was like 90s, late 80s, definitely 90s. I'm gonna say 90s. I'm not gonna really say 80s. Mm-hmm. San Francisco was known as
what?
The gay capital.
Oh yeah, well of course.
I don't think it's not now.
I think it still is though.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Man, I don't know, man. It might be Atlanta. I don't know, man. San Francisco.
I haven't really experienced Atlanta, so I couldn't say yes or no on that. But.
You know, I go to Atlanta, friends, family live in Atlanta and things like that. But
how do you like it out there? Is it like a place that you think that you would move to?
You know, at one time, I really thought I wanted to move to Atlanta. I like Atlanta, not knocking Atlanta, but from going there,
we probably got some listeners in Atlanta, man.
Yeah, that's good. But and I'm sure they can attest to this. The traffic, things I don't like about Atlanta. But I know I just said I like Atlanta, but I do like Atlanta. But the traffic is heavy, and when you go commute, it's so far out. Like say if you're going from one place, say we're going to hang out, yo, come over to this pub. It'll be like 30, 40 minutes away.
That's like L.A.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how LA is so spread out.
So the commute, I was like, man, but they're used to that. You know, like my son lives in Atlanta, you know, and we taking him to Andretti's from Tucker. I don't even know what part of, and I'm driving for like 35, 40 minutes, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got my son, his friend, and his friend's sister in the car. We took so long and load the baby, she done passed out. She fell asleep by the time we got there. So I'm like, you know, just that commute. And then one thing is, they want you to pay for parking everywhere you go. I'm like, Mike, every place you go, if you go to, you like, we tried to go to a restaurant, and they say, yeah, y'all coming here, the $10 a park. I'm like, what? Are you serious? The park, we going to pay to eat, but you got to pay to park too? Now, and a lot of strip clubs do that as well. You know, they don't even valet. You know, because normally a valet take your keys and park for you, which I understand that, but some of these places, no, they want to charge you to park in their parking lot. You know, I'm like,
yeah,
my goodness, man, that's one thing. But, you know, it's a great place. Black people are doing big things in Atlanta. I heard on Drink Champs that Nori, he called Atlanta. He said, man, to us, he's like, man, that's like Wakanda. You know, because you know how Wakanda is with black people doing so well.
Yeah.
But a lot of black people are doing well in Atlanta. I will say that, you know. But it's easy to get caught up in recreation. That's one reason why I didn't move there, because I know I wanted to grind and be about my business.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, you know, because at one time the women outnumbered the men so much, you know what I'm saying? Like almost like 5 to 1, you know what I mean? So you can get caught up easy. I mean, I don't know what's the ratio now, because this was like back in the early 2000s and things like that when I got out the military. And you know, I was like, man, boy, you can get caught up real quick in Atlanta, boy, I'm telling you. And plus a lot of celebs live there too, and they having all these birthday bash and throwing big parties and things like that. But you know,
ever been to a birthday bash?
No, I've been to some of the. I've been to strip clubs and seen celebrities come up in there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
okay.
man. I've been to day parties, and Jazzy Faye was chilling right there with us.
Nice.
You know, seen those Scrappy. Been in a one while ago. Been in a store buying some clothes. Montel Jordan walked in there. You know Montel Jordan is. He from Cali.
Yeah.
So you will see celebs, you know. But I'm not starstruck. Not all the time, but you will see. One of my buddies he used to live there, and he lived in Midtown. With his company, they used to manage T-Pain. So I've never met T-Pain, but he used to manage T-Pain and a few other artists. Matter of fact, they was took T-Pain when T-Pain was on Wildin' Out one time with Nick Cannon. This was in New York, I believe, before he, you know, and but yeah, you know, it's a lot going on and things like that, you know. And some friends, they used to try to get me to move out there.
Yeah.
For business purposes and things like that, but you know, I don't know, man. I'm cool where I'm at. I go visit all the time and then come back to Charleston, see my knucklehead kid and things like that, and come on back. You know, you need to go check it out, man. You've never been.
Yeah, I need to. I work too much.
There's work in Atlanta.
I'm grinding.
There's work. There's plenty of work in Atlanta.
Yeah, I know a couple people out there. I got some family out there, and I got some friends that live out there. So,
because you know when we did Top Chef, a lot of people we working with came up from Atlanta to work on Top Chef with us.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
So.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody, you know, who came up, who worked Top Chef with us.
Shout out to the folks.
Yeah, the good peeps.
Yeah.
So go ahead, man.
Speaking
LSU.
of Atlanta.
What?
Speaking of the South, let's talk about New Orleans,
Louisiana,
LSU.
My girl,
Angela
Reese.
So the women's basketball team, or women's basketball tournament, just happened, and
did you watch it?
LSU ended up winning. I did watch it.
I did.
It was.
I did too.
It's actually, it was actually entertaining.
Man.
Well, that sounds bad.
No, bro. That don't sound bad, bro. Let me tell you something.
But
the women, to me now, like, it's more entertaining than the guys. I think the women are better, to me, than I mean, far as college. Not saying the guys aren't good.
I think we just had names. We had people that we could point to on both teams. Because, the Iowa had the Caitlin
Clark.
Caitlin Clark,
Caitlin,
and then
Caitlin Clark.
LSU had
Angela
Reese.
So and a few other, you know what I'm saying?
So whenever
and
there's
Miller.
like two big names happening.
Well, not just that, but you got Carolina.
Yeah, I
Carolina went undefeated, and I was very disappointed because I was rooting for Carolina when they lost.
And the girl from Louisville, I can't remember.
Okay.
She was she worked out.
I'm telling you, man, it's
Kobe
like
a lot, so.
The women's basketball college is. I mean, man, it's very exciting.
It's getting there. I'll say it's.
You getting it, bro? Are you? Oh my! Are you? You know what? I'm gonna do you like. Every time you do that, I'm gonna hit you.
They just got names now. You know?
No, man, you crazy.
That's all they needed, though.
No, man, back when UConn used to win every tournament with Rebecca Lobo, all these women are in the WNBA. Yeah. No, they would go undefeated. One time, nobody would touch UConn. They would go undefeated the whole season and win, and then Sweet 16,
I know, but it
Final
would just
Four.
Be her by herself. You have to realize 9 million people, 9.9 million people tuned in to this women's final. And it was because you had two big names going after each other.
Of course.
That's what sells.
Of course.
Like, I feel like I haven't really paid attention to women's basketball since no, for the NCAA since Candace Parker was with Tennessee. And so now it's like,
now you paying attention.
Now we got two names again. Now we got these people that we can root for.
I won't lie.
So now it's it's entertaining.
I saw it. I used to watch back in high school, straight college men's basketball. We didn't really got too much into women's, and then everything was always advertisement. Of course, NBA, you already know. Would not have to speak on that. I really got into women's college with Carolina when they picked up and how they was just demolishing, and they won the championship. I think they won 2 championships and then lost one, I believe, or something like that, or didn't get, or something happened. But I think they have 2 championships. That's when I really started getting into it. But this season, all I really watched was the women's college basketball. I didn't really watch too much men's because they had San Diego.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Yo, nigga, San Diego State. I was like, I never even heard of them, and they played. Who did they play?
Shout out Kawhi. Kawhi went there.
Kawhi Leonard went to San Diego State.
Yeah.
Who they played? San Diego State, and who else was in the finals?
UConn men.
UConn beat them.
Yeah.
UConn beat them. That's
big
right.
Big surprise. Yeah. It's like
big surprise. But still, hey,
that's
hats
why nobody
off.
tuned into that one.
But hats off to San Diego State. I never even heard of San Diego State. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think Kawhi might have gotten them to the Final Four too when he was there. But yeah, I mean, San Diego State's been, getting there. They were actually San Diego State went undefeated a couple years ago, and if it wasn't for COVID, they would have been the number 1 seed overall. So, but anyways,
man, I wouldn't know. I didn't watch it, but yeah. But what do you think about? You think that was Angela Reese being disrespectful? What do you think about that?
I'm kind of mixed on this, man, because I mean, I think she definitely went overboard.
You think so?
Because I don't know if you saw her, she was literally following the girl around everywhere. So to me, that was a little overboard. But I was actually happy that she was giving it back to her. You know what I mean? Because homegirl, the one on Iowa, was talking mad junk the whole entire tournament.
Yes,
just
but she was talking trash to the team. They played was a Louisville, right?
Yeah. Well, not just Louisville. Everybody.
And they got clips of her.
She was talking
saying,
trash
"Don't talk to
everybody."
me." But yeah, exactly.
She waved off the girl from South Carolina. She was like,
"Yes, that was Raven Jackson." So, "Oh yeah, we ain't worrying about you." You know what I'm saying?
So part of me was okay with Angela Reese doing that to her, but I feel like she went just a little bit overboard. Like when you're walking around, when somebody's walking off the court and you're gonna follow them and just,
No, I saw that video. She didn't walk off the court.
She was walking to her side.
She was walking, and she did follow her to a certain point.
No, she literally went out of her way to walk over there and
Dude, that is, and I disagree with you. That is a competitive nature because they are females. You might feel a certain way, but if that was men doing that, because you're a man yourself, you would think that, oh yeah, you know, dude, that's just what we do.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. But I mean,
no, it's just the competitive nature.
Somebody, there's a great, you know, in the Last Dance documentary about Jordan, there's a great moment where one of the players, they were up by like 15, and like, or something like that. They were up by a lot of points, and he went over to Jordan and he went, yeah, like that in his face.
Yeah.
And Jordan was like, he should never done that, you know.
Okay.
Like, you know, I get it because it was competitive,
dude, that's
spirit,
Jordan,
right?
That's
but
Jordan.
But yeah, Jordan was like, yeah, he should never did that, blah 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 blah, because it gave, you know, that kind of thing gave him fuel, and they whooped them for the rest of the series or whatever. But you know, I actually, again, let me just be clear. I like what she did because she gave it back to her. I like that Angela Reese did that. I'm just saying that, like, partly, just a little bit overboard, but, you know, like, some of that stuff was cringe. Some of it was like cringe to me because you're literally going to go all the way down.
I disagree.
You know? But anyways, yeah, disagree.
I totally disagree, because had LSU lost, and, you know, and Caitlin Clark was, you know, meaning they get in the ring, right? This wouldn't even be in the media. This wouldn't even be news. Had she did that to them, this wouldn't even be. And, you know, you got to call it what it is, man. A black girl and a white girl.
I think that the media is spinning it that way, too. But I mean,
that's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
I can't remember who said it.
Who, Shannon Sharp?
And again, I don't. I like what Angela Reese did. Let me be clear. I like what she did. But somebody was like, they were like, Caitlin Clark was doing more of what Steph Curry does. Steph Curry, like, plays towards the crowd. You know, like, when he's, like, you know, talking his trash, he's looking at the crowd, he's hyping the crowd up. And what Angela Reese did is more Draymond Green. Draymond Green's in your face. He's going to, you know, do all kinds of crazy stuff. And so, yeah, I feel like it's more of, like, different styles that people like. Like, if you are a fan that likes the more in-your-face stuff, okay, yeah, you're going to like what, you know, Angela Reese did. But if you're a fan that likes more of, like, oh, yeah, I'm playing towards the crowd, I'm hyping the crowd up, you're going to like what Angela Clark does. Or, no, the other girl. Caitlin Clark does. So, I mean, like, I think it's different strokes or whatever. But to me, I'm more in the middle on this. Whereas, like, I can see, you know, why everybody got upset. But also, I like that Angela Reese, like, told her straight up. And I like what Angela Reese said to Jill Biden, too. I was like, yeah. Tell them.
But you know, they are going.
Did you hear that when she was like, "Yeah, we ain't going to the White House. Like, we're gonna wait for Obama or something."
She said, "No, we're going to visit Michelle Obama."
Yeah, exactly.
But ultimately, their coach said that they are going to go, and Angela Reese said she'll go. But what you think about when they invited Iowa too?
I'm not surprised that Jill Biden did that. You know, personally.
But no one never invited the losing team.
Yeah. I'm not surprised because they are, like, I feel like everything that comes out of that White House is a little kooky. They be doing some crazy stuff, man.
If you was the president,
they be doing some weird stuff in that White House.
If you was in the White House, see, you was in office, you held office.
No, would you invite the winner?
Right, you're not bringing Iowa. Exactly. I'm not bringing Iowa. You lost.
But I'm not surprised.
Hey, congratulations to y'all, but you lost. You know
I'm
what
not surprised, though, that, like, that goof, you know, because goofy stuff has been happening ever since they've been inside of the White House. They be doing all kinds of weird.
They say, they had jokes about Biden talk to people who ain't there. He talked to ghosts.
Dog, I mean, listen, it's not even political. It's just like there's a lot of goofy stuff that happens in that White House, dog.
Yeah.
I'm
independent.
I'm just keeping it 100.
I'm
independent too.
I'm independent. So, you know, but yeah, man, I think that's sort of I don't know. That's I don't know. It's wonky. It's wonky, man. You know, you invite the winner. You don't invite the loser. You can congratulate them. Hey, hats off to y'all. And then plus,
I think Jill related more to Caitlin. To Caitlin,
of course,
but also to that
she looks like her.
Exactly.
She looks like her.
And that team looks like her.
Of course. I agree.
LSU looks different.
Exactly.
And, you know, LSU's coach is different. I could tell she'd probably be uncomfortable with LSU's coach.
Oh yeah.
So like, you know, yeah, it's just a different
Man,
type of mentality.
Look at LSU coach. She come up there. What's her name? I forgot her name.
I forget her name.
She used to play
But I
ball
like
too,
her. She's-
with that swag, and
Yeah,
she's
she's
dressed in all
cool.
those clothes.
Yep.
And she's out there
She's
doing the
cool.
gritty. You saw her doing the gritty dance.
No, I didn't see her doing
Yeah,
the
she's out
gritty.
there doing the gritty.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like Shannon Sharp
Whereas
said.
somebody like Jill would probably look at her and be like, "What the heck?
Yeah,
Why are you
yeah,
doing?
yeah.
Why are you doing that
You're
gritty?"
you're a white woman. Conserve yourself. We don't do these things. That's for the other folk. You
Yeah,
know what
exactly.
I mean? But you know, it's like
But she clearly related to the
yeah,
other
like
team.
Shannon Sharp said when Caitlyn did it, and she was doing it to every team, it was swag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when she do it, when Angela Reese do it, oh, it's a, you know, she's a thug.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And that's that man, look, it's no
get
secret we get prosecuted in America for just being unapologetically black.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. So you shouldn't be surprised. It's messed up, but we shouldn't be surprised that this negative press came out about Angela Reese in the media.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be surprised. It's been going on when we first landed here. You know what I'm saying? And it'll continue to go on for years and years. When our kids, our children's come, you know, hopefully things will clean up a little bit, but we always going to be prosecuted for being unapologetically black. That's why this is the Black Summit.
Right. 100.
Exactly.
I think we should end it there. That was actually that's
that
a
was
good
good?
speech right there. Boom.
Hey. Boom.
Hey, thanks for joining us today, guys. It was a good podcast.
Yeah, good. Well,
Hope to see you next time. Hey, subscribe, like, let us know, comment. What do you guys think about these subjects? We would love to know and get to know you guys and our audience better. So, yeah.
And if you don't like, just share it with your friends. Let them like it. And let them subscribe.
Yeah, please share this. Please share this. We're trying to grow our following here, and so whatever you guys can do would be great. Thank you.
And just stay tuned. Eventually, we're going to have some upcoming guests. You just won't see our ugly mugs all the time. And me with 4 eyes and everything. So, we're going to definitely have some people come up.
Oh, yeah.
Who've been eager to, who want to get on and give their 2 cents.
Yep.
Opinion on things and current factors and current events and different things of that nature. So, yeah.
Word. Black Summit out.
Out. Hendrix.
Peace.